On average, Genshin releases a minimum of 11 characters per region. This is a fact that they've followed for many patches. Working with this fact, and the ID codes leaked, we can know everyone who is getting released in Nod Krai. So the rest of the work falls back to me, and that's the research on their roles and element, all that stuff. So, to be honest, quite a lot has changed, but it depends on how up-to-date you are. We have new sets of characters revealed, we've got kit leaks, and we've also got quite a few changes in their release date. So if you're waiting for someone or just want to know how to plan ahead, then this video is probably for you. Now let's start with 6.1. In 6.1, we are not just expecting Nefer, nope. We are expecting the 2 UGC characters for the UGC mode. They're called Manikins since, they actually are essentially Manikin. The only real difference is the spelling. Now, since not all of you guys are so interested in the UGC mode, I'll just explain the latest leaks in a way that's short enough for the uninterested and long enough for those interested. In UGC mode, the characters are either male or female. You can switch between each gender at any time, and they will carry the same element as the traveler, but can never bear the same name. As expected, you can edit every individual part of the character, all from the hair to essentially the toes. It'll have its own battle pass, and you can gift outfit designs to your friends. In summary, it's essentially a mixture of Infinity Nikki and Roblox so as to bring out the creativity in the players. That said, the main playable character in 6.1 is Nefer. Nefer is a Dendro DPS who deals damage from her personal attack and not Bloom. We all know about her right now, but my main reason for bringing her up is because of the latest leaked info about her. According to the latest leaks, she deals the majority of her damage via her charged attack, but unlike Nuvi, who needs C1 so as to not get tossed around, Nefer, on the other hand, has inbuilt interruption resistance at C0, and for reference, it's twice as much as Jinqui. So with that aside, let's get over the main gist, which begins from 6.2 upward. You see, Genshin characters carry a particular ID. The majority of the time, they'd release these characters in accordance with their ID. Now, Lauma ID is 119, Flynn's has an ID of 120, and Dano is 121, so as you might have guessed, Durin ID is 123. Now that we're in 6.1 beta and leakers haven't revealed Durin gameplay, then it's safe to expect him in 6.2. It's really that simple. Now that I think about it, we can use these IDs to assist us during banner lineup prediction, but that's for later. So what we know is that Durin is in 6.2, but what is he expected to be? Well, so far what we know is that Durin is a 5-star Pyro character. All leaks still point at him being a Pyro support. What I've said in previous videos still stands solid, and that is the fact that he's basically another Bennett in the sense that he is made to be a Pyro support, and also the fact that he's a sword user. Now there are many leaks about his kit online, but I won't be showing that in this video, because let's be real, we can only get the actual kit numbers when the beta for that version has begun. If the version hasn't begun, then the only other source is from Genshin insiders. But the truth is, they won't risk their jobs for a normal character like Durin. They can only do so for an Archon like Columbina or Mavwika. Durin isn't worth it. So to wrap up Durin, he's a Pyro sword user who is simply made to be a support. Obviously, as a 5-star, he is allegedly meant to be better than Bennett, but, well, not like we didn't say the same for Ian Sun, right? Bennett will be meta no matter what. Now, before going into the next, if this video is helpful whatsoever, then show it some love and maybe subscribe. From time to time, I cover topics which other channels don't feel like covering. So, yeah, a like and sub is free and you have my thanks for it. Next up, we have ID 125, and that is none other than Columbina, as we've seen. Columbina is leaked to be released in 6.3, so it does line up with the ID numbers. Now, according to latest leaks, Columbina is an Hydro DPS. How exactly she will work really isn't known. But what I know for certain is that even a support can be a DPS at C6. But seriously, all leaks so far have been pointing towards her being a Hydro DPS, which simply means it's probably true. Personally, I'm still saving up for her no matter what, because as we've all seen, the strongest character of a region is usually the Archon. With that said, the next ID number we have is 128. Now, to those who have been listening so far, you'd realize that we were last at 125, meaning we have 126 and 127 missing. This simply suggests that we are getting 2 characters in between here which aren't revealed, and after scouring every source, I've actually found the closest conclusion we can come up with. And that is these 2 characters are the Golden-Eyed Adeptus releasing for Langturn Right, which some think is the spirit of Issaroth, and Linnea, a character who has a voice line in both Inefa, Aino, and even Lauma, so she's definitely someone mildly important, although she most definitely is a 4-star. The Gold-Eyed Adeptus is speculated to be a Nemo, while for Linnea, we simply have no idea. Anyways, with the numbers between 128 and 125 covered, let's talk about 128 itself. 128 is the debut of Varka. Now it's not 100% confirmed, but he is leaked to be a standard character, just like Mizuki and the other few characters. Now you might be wondering why this is the case for him, but to be honest, it kind of makes sense. For starters, he's a Mondstadt's character. Mondstadt's is a quite old region and really doesn't scream the sense of power, so you cannot really expect any Mondstadt's character to be meta in this day and age. Of course, some of you will say Durin, but nope, Durin isn't an ordinary human, he's a dragon. Literally a guy who single-handedly brought fear to Mondstadt's without even being fully awake. So it really does make sense. Anyways, I just couldn't let it die. As such, I messaged some leakers and they were honest with me, saying that they have no idea how Duoma, the guy who leaked it, got info about him being standard. So yeah, Varka is expected to debut in 6.4. He's aimed at being an Anemo DPS 5-star who uses a claymore, thus making him the first male Anemo claymore user. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Next on the list, we have Sandrone with an ID number of 133, which suggests that there are 4 characters in between. Now here's the thing, these characters could literally all be 4 stars, and that's why we have no info on them yet. Or they're actually the ID numbers of Alice, Nicole Reen, and 2 other 4 stars. And personally, I think that's the answer. With Durin being deployed as a pyro support, they gotta add the DPS. Now he probably has Columbina as the DPS, but if you've been looking at patterns, then you'd realize that supports do get multiple DPS characters, just like Sitlali to Mavuka, but still being useful for Skirk. Applying this principle to Durin, then it's safe to say that Alice will be released in favor of him. So following the missing ID, it greatly suggests that Alice will be in 6.5, with Nicole Reen in 6.6, then finally Sandrone in 6.7. And yes, I get it, we got leaks about Sandrone being unplayable, but with more of her assets being seen, she simply is breaking the allegations. Ririr, or whatever he's called, has no proof of him being playable. He probably will end up like Capitano. So yeah, that's all info about the playable characters coming in the Nod Krai patch. Feel free to save up to 35% at LD Shop, where you really just need your UID and server. Anyway, I wish to answer some comments, but I really don't know how well this video will do. So I'll save the comment answering for another video. As always, thanks for watching. I love you all, do take care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.